how you doing? It is Similar Speaker here. I am back with another video. This is the Similar Speaker channel. I am your guide to cleaning business success. Yes, I hope you guys are doing well. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button, wherever it's at. Hit the subscribe button. And then if you felt like I gave you some value at the end of this video, you actually felt the effort I try to put in to give you value from this video, give me a thumbs up, comment, ask questions, get in contact. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to make another video. I'm happy another video drops. And if you're wondering, wait, when do video drops? One, you get the bell notification to get some notifications whenever I am dropping. But if you don't want to do that, and you should do that, Tuesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. I will be dropping a video every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Depending on how things go, I might drop it more frequently if the help is needed in terms of giving out more value, more information about this industry. We do talk about the remote cleaning business model, but we also talk about any remote home service business model as well. So welcome. Now, I'm going to get straight into it because usually I can tend to talk, but I'm trying to find a way to get better at dropping videos in a more timely manner so you guys are not sitting here for about 50, 60, 40 minutes having to watch a long video. Unless you don't mind, let me know, then I will just talk and go ahead as in-depth as possible. With that being said, the reason today's video is a little bit unique, right? Because the channel talks about the remote cleaning business model, right? Remote, right? We do it from our laptop. And I had a discussion with a cleaner that's making good money. She's making good money. And she knows that I teach this model. And she's like, she appreciates that, but she's like, hey, like I'm making money too. Right? She's like, don't be fooled. I'm making money too. Granted, she's been in the industry for a while, so she knows she's an expert in the industry, so she knows about pricing, how to price her cleanings, what type of cleaning to take, so on and so on. So with that being said, right, this video is for her, but it's for everybody, really, right? It's because of her that I'm making this video. I want to talk about 3 cleaning business models, right? 3 cleaning business models that will earn you up to $1,000 a day. For some reason, I feel like I said 3 cleaning business models. For some reason, I don't know why I feel like I said business cleaning. But yes, so we're going to talk about the 3 cleaning business model to make $1K a day. So there are 3 ways to do that inherently, right? We talk about the remote cleaning business model on this channel, but there are 3 ways, right? Like, if you don't want to go remote, you don't have to go remote, but we'll discuss why I think it's better to go remote. You'll see that very shortly, very soon. So, to get into this video, what are the 3 business models, right? You have 1, a solo cleaner. Just like the lady I was saying that we were discussing, she's a solo cleaner, right? I will give it its pros, right? Low barrier to entry, minimum upfront cost, right? So, low barrier to entry, even though the remote is the same. Minimal upfront cost. So, right, if you didn't want to, and obviously you would want to keep it organized, pay the LLC and the EIN and the business bank account. But in all honesty, as a solo cleaner, if you didn't want to do that, you don't technically have to do that, right? And that's why a lot of solo cleaners, the way they get paid, the Cash App and the Zelle, you can be a solo cleaner, right? You could also be a solo cleaner and make the LLC. Right? They can make the LLC, the EIN, they can do it the right way as well. And so, being a solo cleaner is still minimal upfront cost, low barrier to entry, right? And then what you could do, because you're a solo cleaner, is you could look to only it'll be easier to do just commercial or luxury properties, right? A lot of luxury properties, depending on actually the owner, sometimes they don't mind just having a solo cleaner come in there, or even offices. Offices love, sometimes they don't want to work with a business. They'll work with just a cleaner and they'll negotiate, right? So it gives them the ability to kind of move around and be selective. You can be selective with your type of work. Now, don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying you can't be selective as a business, right? If you want to do only Airbnb, you can do that. If you want to do only commercial, you can do that, and so forth and so on. But I would say, as a remote cleaning business, if you can do commercial, if you can do residential, right? If you have the staff to do it, if you can do luxury properties and do multiple all at the same time, right? Because you can have different cleaners in different locations. Obviously you want to go that remote route. But let's say you did it. Let's say you wanted to be selective. You can be selective with your work, right? And a lot of times the people that we see do the solo cleaner model usually are just looking to do it for like just some side income. They're doing it for side income, or sometimes they do it full time. Right? So I say it all this, I do want to give it its pros. If you want to go that route, I do want to give it its pros. It does have, a couple pros, but I think the con that I'm about to mention right now, for me, is what deters me from doing that model. Plus, I suck at cleaning anyway, right? I just suck at cleaning. There's a limitation to it. Let's put that in. Let's put limitation. And we're going to talk about what that limitation is. Sorry, y'all. Apparently it doesn't want to work with me. Maybe I'm not doing it right. So there is a limitation to it. And what is the limitation? They cap their income. Why do they cap their income? There's only so much time and so many places that they can be at once. Income capped. Can't be in multiple places at one time. So their income is capped. They can't be at multiple places at one time. That's a big limitation, right? Because you don't want to cap your income. And we're going to talk about that, talk about the next business model, going into the actual remote model, right? Where you can actually find a way to pay yourself more, right? Maybe you keep making more money. Maybe you cut down the we're talking about profit first in another video. So maybe you cut down your percentage with the operating account. You cut that down by 10 and you give yourself an extra 10%, right? So there's a way to make more money, but they can't be everywhere at one time. With the remote model, you can obviously have different cleaners at different properties at one time. So that's the first one, solo cleaner. Like I said, it has this cool advantage. There is a way to make $1,000 a day. You could definitely make six figures from this. But the limitation is that your income is capped. You can only make so much because you can only be in so many different places at one time. So that then brings me to the second model. What is the second model, right? The second way to do this, you can have a small team. Now this is where we go remote. This is where we go remote with it. And this remote is more so of a small operation, right? This is the second model, right? So let's say you're like, okay, you know what? I don't want to do the cleaning myself. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna be the one to actually just organize the business, let other people do the cleaning, right? So small team is the second model. This is where you start entering into the remote model, right? We now have entered into the remote model. And so with this, you're gonna keep, maybe you'll probably have under let's say 4 to 5 subcontractors, right? But you're going to be using subcontractors. You probably, at this point as well, because you're entering a remote model, have a low overhead. Right? So you're going to have a low overhead at this point because now we don't even buy cleaning supplies at this point, right? We only have the laptop and our phone, just making sure that we're taking care of this. Maybe at this level, you might still be, at this level, you might also be the receptionist. You might be taking calls. So you're trading your time for money, but it's not, you can still scale this, right? Because even though you're taking the calls and handling everything, you can start cleaning the other locations, right? And so what you're doing is you're delegating the cleanings. So you're delegating the cleanings and you're splitting the revenue. Splitting the revenue with cleaners. At that point, your probably main focus is quality control, making sure everything goes well, making sure everything goes smoothly. So that's what you'll be doing at that point, right? And so that at this point, you're actually able to scale this. You're actually, at this point, you can scale. Like I said, you're running a small team. You're probably the one taking the calls. You probably have just a couple cleaners doing a couple appointments. You might be making a little less than if you're doing if you're a successful solo cleaner, but you're working. You're working 3 times less, right? Because all you're doing is taking calls, maybe on a laptop. Like it's a lot better, and you can scale up to what you're making, obviously, right? And this is where we're going to our next model, right? Because at this point now there's opportunity to scale. The third model is going to be expansion. So this is the third model. The third model to making 1K a day by expanding, right? Expansion. This is where you actually do like $2,000-$3,000 a day. At expansion, we have our client acquisition system. Right? We have a way to generate leads, our sales process. So at this point we have that, and then we have what I would like to say we have a performance system, a way to fulfill the other services that we offer, right? So we have a fulfillment system. How do we go about executing the service, right? From booking the client, from booking to follow-up. From booking to follow-up, what is that system like, right? So at that point, when we're expanding, we have a system to be able to bring clients in and to go outreach to clients as well. At this point, we have a top to bottom system of how we offer from the minute we pick up the phone call to when we finish the cleaning. What is that system like? So now we can expand. We're making more than $1,000 a day at this point because everything is flowing. And if you're comfortable enough, even at this point, you can we'll say intro to commercial real estate or to commercial properties. Because now you can start entering the commercial property space. Right? At this point, your cleaning business is running smoothly. You have ways that you're bringing clients in. You have ways to getting the job done. You're good. Now we can enter deeper into the cleaning industry and tap into the commercial properties. And if we have this systemized the way we need to have it systemized, I want to put a little something here. Less hours worked. You'll be working less hours. That's one thing I love about this business model. Once you kind of get it systemized, you work less hours actually. And that's that third phase right here, right? And this is the third phase I was talking about. This is when it gets scalable. Now you're expanding. Or another thing you can do, right? Intro to commercial properties, or we could say other services. Because now we have the game. We have something that's replicable. Now we have something that's replicable. Now we can be making $1,000 a day with plumbing, HVAC. We can be doing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Because we have something that is scalable and replicable. So we can, if we want to, we can go into commercial properties, or we can even just go into a different home service. So just like that, these are the 3 cleaning business models to make 1K a day. Like I said, you got the solo cleaner, but there's limitation because your income becomes capped because you only have so much time, right? And then from there, you can go into the remote aspect. Now we're starting to create a small team. Some subcontractors were getting appointments a day. This is where you can actually get into the $1,000 a day, right? You can get into that $1,000 a day. But in order to really get into past 1,000, right? Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You may even be able to do it 2, but like when we're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at this point that's expansion, right? We have the system created. We're expanding. It's a different type of business model. We're in an expansion model where we're just continuously scaling. We're continuously scaling. And at that point, we can rather go into commercial properties, which, would create more revenue and a higher amount of profit for us. Or we can say, you know what, because we have a model that we can replicate, we can go into something like HVAC, in which one appointment is thousands of dollars. So just like that, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Please subscribe. If you got value from this or felt the effort of me trying to give you value, subscribe. Or not subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. If you could like as well, thumbs up. I'm dropping once again, every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 p.m. Bell notification if you want to get the notification from whenever I drop. Once again, I appreciate you guys as we follow along a journey of putting financial power within your hands so that you can be the best version of yourself. I will see you in the next video.